Hi, this is Sweet June. How's everybody doing today? I'm sitting here. The CBS this morning, yesterday morning, interviewed Breonna Taylor's boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, and Gail. Um, she's getting um, the facts on. I was hoping that they would be able to, somebody would be able to get a interview of him because if you guys didn't catch my other video where I was talking about how every time something happens to a black person by the hands of the police, uh, everybody wants to try to criminalize them, either the system, everybody wants to criminalize them and try to make it seem like they was these, black people are criminalized when they're killed by the police. And everybody kept saying that they were drug dealers. Breonna was dealing drugs, and she clarified, Gail King clarified that they both were, that neither one of them had a criminal history, and they found no drugs in the apartment. Just like I said in that video that I did. Um, if you guys get a chance, I'll try to put the link of the video in the description box where I was talking about it. Um, they found no drugs in the apartment. Neither one of them had a criminal history, but everybody wanted to keep saying over and over and over that Breonna Taylor was a drug dealer, that they were drug dealers, that they were dealing drugs. If they were dealing drugs, why come there was no drugs in the apartment? What kind of a drug dealer are you if you ain't got no merchandise on you? I ran into some drug dealers. I'll tell that story. One of these days I'll tell you guys that story. Years ago when I first moved out on my own, I ran into some drug dealers, and they was trying to get me to roll out of my apartment. I'll tell that story another time. And he had the merchandise right there on him. Okay, but I told him, "Oh no way! I don't want no part of this." Like I said, I'll tell that story another time. It's a long story, but what kind of a drug dealer are you gonna be if you ain't got no merchandise on you in your house? It wouldn't. That doesn't make sense. So for people to say that they were drug dealers, they found no drug traces of drugs in the apartment. Neither one of them had a criminal history. So when I read the blogs, that's all I heard was people saying that Breonna, they were dealing drugs. Breonna had a criminal history as to justify why she was killed, as to say that she deserved to be killed that way. She did not deserve to be killed that way. And so they cleared some things up. I was really, really hoping that they would get the opportunity to interview him. And I'm glad that Gail got the opportunity because they cleared some things up for everybody, for the whole world. Because this people just operating in ignorance, talking about stuff they know nothing about, just speculating because they're black. He said that it wasn't a race issue at first, but it became a race issue after the fact. I guess I can agree with that. Because first of all, just like I said in that video, they had no business in that they got that warrant on illegally. I mean, they didn't go through through the right things to obtain that warrant, and the person that they were looking for was already apprehended. So they didn't even have no business there. They had no business there in their apartment at all. Period. They had no reason to be there. And then when they shot, he was trying to defend. They didn't announce that they were the police, and they just busted in and started. They busted in the apartment. They didn't announce that they're the police. He had a gun, and his first instinct was to start shooting. Because I mean, if you have a gun, if you're a homeowner or you in your apartment or your house and you are a licensed gun owner, somebody busts in your door, then that's going to be your first instinct to start shooting. And that was his first instinct to start shooting. He didn't even know it was the police. They never announced themselves. And then once they shot Breonna, he called his mom and then he called the police, and they bounced. I mean, they were there, but they disappeared. They didn't come in, and they disappeared. So they didn't make the after the shooting, they didn't make their presence known because he still didn't know it was the police. When he called the police, he said, "Why would I call the police on the police? That don't make no sense." So after the shooting, he still didn't know they disappeared uh, until he went outside. Um, and so he called the police because he thought it was an intruder. He still thought it was an intruder. He didn't know it was the police until he went outside. And then that's when they all draw guns on him and all that kind of stuff. So I was so glad that Gail got the opportunity to get this interview to set the record straight. I'm so glad that he decided to do an interview to set the record straight because I'm getting so sick and tired of people saying that they were drug dealers and they were criminals just because they're black. It's because they're black. Every time a black person gets killed by the police, they always want to criminalize them. They always want to say that they was somehow in the wrong, that they somehow had some type of a criminal history. So there's no such thing as a black person that is a law abiding citizen. There's a lot of black people that are law abiding citizens. I'm a law abiding citizen. If I get killed by the police, what you gonna bring up? My traffic tickets? I got stopped for not having my tax renewed at one point in time or another. You gonna throw that up? Because I've never been to jail, you know, but every time a black person get killed by the police, they want to criminalize them. And I read this goes to show you how much racism is still in this country because I was reading a lot of those comments in the blogs and stuff on Facebook and stuff. I was reading a lot of those comments saying, "Oh, she was dealing drugs and they were criminals." I read it over and over and over again, and it just goes to show you how much racism is still in this country. There is a lot of black people out here that are law-abiding citizens. All black people are not criminals. All black people are not criminals, and they didn't have. He said it was a right or wrong issue at first, and then it became a racial issue after the fact. Because first of all, they obtained the warrant under false pretenses, and then they didn't have no business there in the first place. The person that they was looking for was already apprehended. Nah, they wasn't doing their job. They wasn't on their job. And the fact that they got let off the hook for it's just crazy that they got let off the hook for that. They should have got in trouble based on that alone. So that to me is um it's just wrong. It's just wrong. I mean, and I'm so glad that Gail King did this interview. I'm so glad that he just agreed to do the interview. Excuse me. And he said he's still very distraught. He said Breonna was his best friend, and they were going to get married. They were planning a family, and it's really really sad. It's just really sad that this had to happen to her. It's really sad. And then what's really sad, the really uh, sad part about it is they tried to criminalize her after the fact. They tried to make her out to be some type of criminal, as if she deserved to die, as if she deserved to be killed like that. She died a brutal death. And they tried to act like she was a criminal or something. She worked in the healthcare industry. She was an essential worker, you know, and his family had nothing but good things to say about her, you know. There's other people that had nothing but good things to say about her, but all of a sudden, everybody wants to make them out to be criminals. Every time, all black people are not criminals. Let's get that straight. All black people are not criminals, and that's completely just racist to automatically assume that a black person is a criminal just because that black bad things. Police officers kill black people. They kill black people, and it's not always they. The black person was in the wrong, and that's why they killed them. Want to try to find justification. There was no justification for this at all. They weren't even supposed to be at their house. The cops was not supposed to be there in the first place. This was wrong. They awarded the family $12 million, but that's all well and good, but that's not gonna bring her back. She needs justice. Those cops need to be prosecuted. She needs justice. They need something more than just a money. And like I say, that's all well and good, but that's not gonna bring her back. So I'm just let me know if you guys got the opportunity to check this interview out on CBS this morning. It aired yesterday. But if you didn't get a chance to check it out, it's here on YouTube. Just type in CBS this morning, it'll pop up. I'm so happy that he decided to do this interview. I was waiting on an interview so they could set the record straight. Now everybody can stop operating in racist ignorance because that's all it was. Okay, if you're new to my channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share, notification bell, and let me know in the comment section what you guys think. If you've seen this interview, what you think, what you think about this case. I don't condone all the violence or whatever protesting, or wherever I don't condone any violence or anything like that. I don't condone that, but yeah, just let me know what you guys think. Okay, till the next video. Peace and love. This is Sweet June.